back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So today I'm here to review two books for you. These books are both what I would class as kind of contemporary-ish. I mean, this is a little bit dystopian as well, but they're both kind of contemporary more than anything. They deal with very current topics, so I thought that they would be perfect to review in the same video, although they are quite different. So I'm going to start with this one. This book is My Name is Leon. It's by Kit DeWall, and it's a book all about foster care, which is not something I know an awful lot about, to be honest, or at least I didn't before reading this, and I still wouldn't say I'm well versed in it at all. I was gifted this from Mercedes for my birthday last year, and I read this in December of last year. I really enjoyed this. It's a super sweet story which has a really sad, bitter undertone. We follow a young boy called Leon who lives with his mother. His mother is single and she has a young baby who's just been born. He's called Jake, his little brother, and Jake is a white baby. He was born of a white mother and a white father, so he's white. However, we have Leon. Leon is a mixed race child. He was born with a black father and a white mother. So when this story begins, we see that Jake has only just really been born and his mother is not coping. Leon's mother is not coping with having a young baby, and then Leon is 9 when this begins, so he is quite a lot older than Jake, but he's still a child. He still needs looking after, and unfortunately his mother is kind of not really dealing with the young baby and the young child situation. She kind of starts going into this depression. She's on her own, she's a single mother, and she's struggling, as you probably would if it was your situation. And she actually gets really bad, to the point where her neighbours have to step in and call child protection services, who come and take away her children from her, which is kind of the best thing for both of them, but at the time a really hard thing for all of them. So we follow Leon as he goes into foster care, and his little brother Jake also does. However, Jake, being a young white baby, is quite easy to rehome, whereas Leon, being a mixed race child who is a bit older, is harder to rehome, and he's already got his own problems from his mother being depressed. It's definitely something that's kind of rubbed off on him, and he's definitely not your average child in terms of mental health. He's got his own things going on. He's missing his mother. He doesn't want to be separated from his young brother, and there's a lot happening there that is quite emotional and quite raw. What I loved about this book is that Kit DeWall really gets across some of the emotions. It's told from Leon's perspective. He's a young boy. He doesn't know everything that's going on, but he can sense that something is bad when he gets separated from his mother and his brother. He knows that this is not really what he wants. He wants to be with them. He wants them to be a normal family. But of course, he doesn't quite understand why that can't happen. And he does meet some really nice people. His foster mother is a really kind, lovely woman, but of course things don't always go smoothly, and particularly with foster care, things can go quite horribly wrong. He has to kind of grow up a lot quicker than he should have to. And I think it really talks about the harsh realities of foster care quite well, and people growing up in the system. It's, from what I know of it and from what I've heard of it, it sounds like it's a pretty hard situation to be in for anyone, and I think this book really brought home some of the home truths about it, so I would definitely recommend it for that reason. In terms of the narrative voice, I really liked that. In terms of the story itself, I found that slightly less interesting. I really liked the character development. I thought that was the most impressive bit of this book by far, but in terms of the plot and what actually happens with him, it didn't capture me as much as I wanted it to. So I did end up giving this a 3.5. I really liked it. I thought it was great in some moments, but I didn't think the overall thing worked as well as it could have done for me personally. However, I'm very aware that I do like a good balance of plot and characters, and this was more characters. So if you like more character-based books, then you'll probably really enjoy this. I know Mercedes and Simon and lots of other people did. So if you like their sort of reading tastes, maybe you'll enjoy it slightly more than I did. But I would still definitely recommend this. I think it's a beautifully written little book. Easy to get through, super short, and very lovely and charming, so I will definitely be on the lookout for other books by Kit DeWall in the future, and I would definitely recommend it. Plus it's a beautiful cover, and I think it sums up quite aptly what it's like. It's kind of like this rage and this terror and this woe and sadness, but actually there are some really nice moments, and you can see him cycling on his bike, which is a real highlight of the book when he gets that. So I loved the lovely moments alongside the really bittersweet ones, and I think it was beautiful. The other book I'm going to be reviewing is Only Ever Yours. This is by Louise O'Neill. It was my first book by her that I'd read. It's a standalone, and it's set in a kind of dystopian world, a futuristic one, where women have to be bred for men, basically. Women are second-class citizens. There are 3 types of profession that they can have. They can either be teachers, which is kind of really looked down upon, they can be concubines, or they can be wives, and that is basically their whole career choice in this world. They all go to these special schools where beauty is everything. I mean everything. Beauty is the most important factor. Poise, delicacy, all of those traits that we see as inherently feminine are what drive these people in this novel. And all of the girls live together in this school, and every day they are tested against each other in terms of who has gained a pound, who has lost a pound, who is looking the best, who's taking care of themselves, who's dressing the best. They get ranked each day on leaderboards. It's a harsh look at beauty and the way that beauty is perceived in media and also in our everyday world by everyone. It's quite an interesting, in-depth look at that. However, it's not just a really fact-driven book at all, it's actually a really fun story. It's about 2 girls who are within this system, and they are trying to become wives because that is the desirable career path. It's basically the best one. They're trying to do that, but unfortunately one of them starts to slip into this depression. She starts to really feel like she just doesn't want to be part of the system anymore. She's kind of feeling so upset by having to look perfect that she doesn't want to do it, and so she starts gaining weight. I would say not a lot, because realistically all of these girls in this book are like Barbie dolls, but she starts to gain weight, and the other girls start to take a real interest in this because they're like, wow, this girl who's been number 1 for ages is starting to lose her way. I could have a spot at being the best. And it's kind of this really fierce undertone of competition going on throughout the whole book. We also have her friend Freya, who really cares for Isabel, this girl who's starting to gain the weight, and these 2 have had a really loving friendship for many years, but in the past few months, whilst Isabel's been drifting away from Freya, they haven't got that relationship anymore, and Freya doesn't understand why she doesn't want to be beautiful and try to be the best in the school anymore. She just doesn't get it. She doesn't understand it. And this is basically a story of beauty and whether it's skin deep or not, but it's also a story of friendship and betrayal and trust and love. And a little bit of sexy times too, and it also discusses some of the sex and things like that for women in this society. What I loved about this is it challenged me to think deeper about some of the ideas that I hadn't necessarily thought about as much as I could have until this book, and it also was really fun, like a genuinely fun story, page turner that I wanted to read more and more of, a great dystopian but also a really relevant topic and a really beautiful and sorrowful story at the same time. Again, I think the contemporary themes of media and the contemporary themes of beauty and what it is to be beautiful and what we're told is beautiful in magazines and stuff really came to light in this book, and I think Louise O'Neill tackled that in a fantastic way. So I actually really enjoyed this. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, so I'd certainly recommend it. Do let me know what your thoughts are on both of these books, whether you've read them, whether you're going to be reading them. I'd love to hear. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.